I got these speakers from a family friend who got them from a family member. When I hooked them up to my stereo system, there was a loud buzz in one of the speakers, so I decided to repair them. I'm not an audiophile guy and just a casual stereo listener, and nor am I a video production person, so please excuse the quality of this particular video. I contacted Magnepan and ordered a Rewire kit, 23 gauge for the bass and mid-range, as well as a refoil kit for the tweeter. The total cost for the package was actually $190 without shipping, and because I live in Hawaii, the freight to Hawaii was about $37. Total cost for me was about $226.50. I started by removing the wood strips from either side of the panels. These speakers are over 20 years old, built around 2002. I failed to mention, when Magnepan sent me the Rewire kit, it included the spool of wire as well as the aluminum tape, as well as solder terminals, solderless terminals, solder, a tube of solder joint sealing, and a can of the 3M 30NF glue. Here I started to remove the two legs by removing the two screws, the top and bottom screw. Regarding the bottom screw, don't forget to store the nylon washers. There's two of them in a safe location for reinstallment later. Here, I'm removing the staples at the bottom of the speakers. There were quite a bit of them. Take your time. Then I removed the positive and negative terminal plates so I could remove the fabric. Then I carefully removed the fabric cover from the speaker. Then I could see why there was a buzzing sound in the speaker, because the wires were dislodged from the mylar film below. I couldn't understand how the wires were attached to the mylar, so I contacted Magnepan, and they sent me a wiring diagram which showed that at the very top on the left speaker there were double loops at the 3rd, 4th, and 5th runs. I still couldn't understand how the wires were run, so I decided to redraw the wiring diagram. And if you look at the left speaker, starting at the very right, you do this looping all the way to the very left and bring the wire back to the 3rd loop and start the double loops there. This shows the bottom of the number 1 speaker. This shows the tweeter wire foil connection to the terminal. And this shows the bass mid-wire connection to the terminals. This shows the top of the number 1 speaker with only a single double loop at the number 4 slot. This shows the wiring diagram of the number 1 speaker with only a single loop at the number 4 spot. This shows a hand-drawn diagram of the top and bottom part of the speaker which shows only a single loop at the number 3 spot. This is a close-up of the number 2 speaker at the bottom before cleanup. And this is after a bit of cleanup. This shows the top of the number 4 speaker, which shows only a single double loop at the number 4 spot. Here I'm removing the cover, which protects the terminals. Here I'm using acetone to clean the tweeter foil tape. And using acetone to clean the wires with a cotton swab. On my particular speakers, there are 3 hold downs which needed to be removed. This is an overview of the speaker after the wires were removed and the surface was cleaned off with an alcohol and water mixture to remove the acetone residue. Here I'm removing the tweeter wire foil tape. Here I'm removing the terminals for the tweeter foil as well as the base mid-range wires. This is an overview of the speaker after removing both the wires as well as the tweeter foil. Magnepan does not supply the super strength adhesive, so you can buy these at any big box store. I use the super strength 3M super strength, but I would recommend using the maximum strength because some of the wires actually lifted up as I did the spray on and attachment. Here I'm spraying on the 3M Super 77 adhesive. Also, as you can see, I only applied the adhesive to 3 to 4 loops because the adhesive would dry too quickly and it was difficult to keep the wires stacked onto the Mylar film. You have to make sure that you lay the wires between the magnets. Before working on a foil tape, I decided to do some practice on the turns at the ends of the foil tape. As you can see, it was pretty difficult, but it is okay if it's not perfect, as long as you don't break the foil tape. Here, I sprayed on the Super 77 for the foil tape and started laying the foil tape. As you can see later, I had some difficulties with the turns, but as long as you don't break the tape, everything should be fine. And you have to make sure that you lay the foil tape between the magnets. Next, I'm applying the Magnepan supplied 3M30NF glue. First, I'm reinstalling the tie-down areas. Next, I'll work on the screw down areas for the base and mid wire as well as the tweeter wire. I cleaned the terminals with acetone and sandpaper the top of the metal terminals to make a clean connection. Because the wire is insulated, you have to make sure that you sand off the ends before making the connection. I did not make a video of the foil tape connection, but it was pretty straightforward. This is an overview of the speaker after making the connection and applying the coating. I did not make a video of the reassembly, but it was pretty straightforward, just following the removal steps in reverse. I tried to play a good soundtrack, but I couldn't do it because of YouTube's copyright restrictions, so I'm just playing a free song from YouTube.